From the Prime Minister down, the story of how Manly mismanaged inclusivity in this round, the Pride round, has been incredible viewing. It's ended with the club legend shattered and 7 top-grade players standing down, all over the colouring of one jumper. Despite a powerful apology, it's left Manly's seasons on the brink, with the league now looking at introducing a dedicated Pride round. Joining me live now is the very busy ARL Commission Chairman, Peter V'landys. I appreciate your time, Peter. First of all, where has this all landed this morning? Are they going to play in that jersey?
No, I don't believe so, and they've got the right to decline to play in that jersey. We live in Australia, we have freedoms, and that's a great thing. But at the same time, we live in Australia and we all respect each other. We're all human beings, we're all the same. It doesn't matter what colour we are, what sex orientation we are. If someone's gay, it makes no difference. He's still a human being. And we should respect and admire that. And that's what Manly tried to do. I think they've picked the wrong week and the wrong time to do it, and they should have collaborated with their players. I mean, we're recognising women. I mean, there's no rugby league without women, and I just can't believe it's been hijacked by this issue because, you know, it's a very important issue, women. But unfortunately, Manly have done it, and look, they've tried to fix the situation. And look, I thought Des Hasler showed great leadership yesterday in the press conference, as did Dale Cherry Evans. So, yeah. But it is what it is.
Why isn't there even a Pride jersey in, as you say, a week that's meant to be celebrating women?
Exactly right. Look, we're surprised as anyone else, and the club has apologised to us. But it has brought the issue to a head, brought it to the public debate, so that's not a bad thing, because we have to really stress that we're all human beings. If someone is gay, we should admire and honour them that they've been able to have the courage to tell us that. And it makes no difference. They're still the same person they were before they told you. We're, talking about a Pride round, it's talking about respecting humanity. Yeah. I'm the first person that doesn't want sport to be politicised because we use sport to escape. We use it to have entertainment and enjoy ourselves. But this is not a political issue. This is about human beings respecting human beings. Because we're different doesn't make any difference. That's the beauty of life, is that we are all going to be different. And disrespecting someone else because they're different, it shouldn't happen.
Yeah, really well said, Mr. V'landys. But, I mean, just on this issue, it's become completely counterproductive. In a move that was trying to be inclusive, it's done the exact opposite. So if this is a moment in time that you learn from, what are you actually learning? Look,
first off, I think you should collaborate with your players. That's the first thing. You should consult with them, engage with them, and have them on side when you do these sort of promotions.
And what if they said, no, we don't want to wear the jersey, and it didn't make the public? Would that be a problem to you?
It is a problem to us because we are an inclusive sport, and we will, we welcome everybody, and no matter who you are, you're a human being at the end of the day, so it would be a problem, absolutely. And we would give them the choice and the freedom of choice to stand down, just exactly like they've done. In Australia, we have freedoms, and they can activate those freedoms. But if our game wants to honour humanity and respecting each other, we expect them to do it. And if they don't want to do it, they can stand down just like they've done. We won't take a backward step on being inclusive. And it's not a political issue. As I said, I'm the last person on earth that wants to use sport for political purposes because it's our escapism and it shouldn't involve itself. But this is about respecting your human beings and respecting your other people.
Yeah, sure. So, OK, let's talk about this idea of a Pride round. Are you going to put in place a Pride round?
Look, we'll certainly look at it, and because I believe it's more than a Pride round. It's respecting each other, respecting each other's views. Just because you and I may have different views doesn't make us any less a person. Just because you have a different, or someone has a different sexual orientation, that doesn't make us a lesser person. It makes us the same. We're exactly the same. I came into the rugby league as a migrant, and rugby league accepted me, and the community accepted me because I was playing sport. And that's the beauty of sport, is it does bring us all together. And we should use it for that purpose. We should use it all our differences go out the window, that we're all one, we're all human, and we play the game accordingly.
Okay, so I'm assuming you're going to consult before deciding on a Pride round. What if some players don't want to participate in it?
Well, it's their choice, and that's what I said. You know, there's two things here. One, it's about humanity, and one is about freedom of choice. If you don't wish to do something, no one's going to force you to do it. We didn't mandate vaccinations because we didn't want to force people to do it, and we had more success with our players vaccinating than if we mandated it.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to make sure that you honour people's freedoms, and we do that. But every player comes to play the game of rugby league and earns significant amounts of income, knowing where rugby league stands on exclusivity. They are well aware of what our policy and how we look at it. So, but if they want to stand down and if they, want to express their freedom, by all means. But if we have a promotion which respects everyone, and it's called a Pride round, it's called whatever it's called, we expect them to play. But if they don't, they've got that choice. Okay,
if you're going to treat players like billboards in some ways, let's take this Manly game, for example, on Thursday. For the 7 players that don't want to play in the Pride jersey, why couldn't they just play in their regular jersey? Those players that wanted to wear the Pride flag on their jersey, by all means do it. Those that don't, still allowed to play, but play in their normal jersey. Can that be an option? No, not at all. It's either all or nothing. I mean, now that it's come out, allowing those players to do that, it expresses that we're not inclusive, that we're not for everybody, and that can't happen, and that's not an option. You know, as I said, they should have collaborated with the players and engaged with the players. There's been a mistake made, but now that the mistake's been made, I don't think you can, then say, "Oh no, we'll change it and allow them to play it with another jumper." I think that sends the wrong signal. How do you feel about this whole debate over the last 2 days? I feel like it's been completely counterproductive, and in many ways it might have been embarrassing to have this kind of protest for members of the community, the gay and lesbian community, that you're actually trying to support.
Look, I don't think it's counterproductive. Having open debate about things and bringing things out in the open and being transparent is not counterproductive. There's a lot of people out there that are marginalised that we should look after. And if you're gay and you're hearing this debate and people are sticking up for you, I think that's a good thing. Knowing that the game of rugby league welcomes gay people like any other person is a good thing. And I don't want kids thinking to themselves, just because I'm gay, I'm different. You're not. You're a human being. You should have strength. And so if the debate is, if it's done, the only positive I can see out of this is that they shouldn't be worried or scared to come out or do anything. You're no different to us. If you think you are, you're not. We're still 100% the same.
So, Mr. V'landys, I think we've just got to the nub of this here. You want young men and women who might be going through that teenage angst, feeling like they're not part of the mainstream. You don't want them in this debate to feel like they're any different or couldn't grow up to play rugby league or anything like that, for example. That's what I think we just got to. That's what it's about, making sure these kids feel like they're included and not on the sidelines.
Exactly. I want these kids to realise and understand that they're the same as us. They're no different. Because they've got a different sexual orientation doesn't make them any less a person or any less a human being. We still love them as much as we loved them before that. If that's your brother or your sister or your son or your mother or your father, are you going to love them any less? No. Why do we put the pressure on these people? Why? It's not right. They are human beings just like you and me, and they are no different. So, yes, that's the message. The message is, don't be concerned, don't be worried. You're one of us, you're still the same. We're all going to have differences. We've all got problems in our lives, we've all got different circumstances, but you're no different.
Let me play devil's advocate for a moment. Is there a bit of hypocrisy here from some of these players? They don't want to play under the Pride banner on religious grounds. And I say, that is fair enough. But they are happy to be sponsored by alcohol and gambling companies, whether it be the stadium or the clubs themselves. Do you see that hypocrisy?
No, I can't. Look, I can't speak for those players. Those players are going through anguish themselves. They've got those beliefs. They've got those that culture situation. I respect that as well. That's their view. It's different to mine, completely different. But I still respect it. And the argument goes both ways. We've got to respect each other's views and opinions. That's their view. Look, if they feel comfortable playing in a jersey with gambling and alcohol, so be it. That's their views. But their view on this is probably stronger. I can't speak for them. And look, I've got to say that they're probably going through some anguish, and I don't think they should go through any anguish, because that's the beauty about being in Australia. You have the freedoms. As long as they see people are all equal and all the same and we're no different, but they can have their religious beliefs. But and the beauty about this is they're not espousing them. They're not going out there with banners and etc. They're which is the wrong thing to do, because that's what hurts these people. They've just expressed their right of freedom.
You've been very open about your views on what's happened over the last couple of days. As ARL Commission Chairman, what are you trying to do? What's the end game here? Is it to try and make the game more family friendly, to be inclusive, to attract viewers that haven't traditionally watched the game? What are you trying to do?
I'm not trying to do anything. I am basically answering the questions of what happened with the Manly jumper. This is not an NRL or ARLC initiative. We didn't go out and do this. We didn't know anything. I found out about it 24 hours before it all happened. It's not an initiative of ours. But I take these things and turn them into a positive, because what it has brought about is the debate about human beings, and it's given us the opportunity to say that we're all the same, and that people shouldn't be marginalised. That's what it's done. So there is no end game, because all we're doing is answering the questions that have been put to us because of the Manly situation.
And in the end, you want more people watching the rugby league for all the right reasons, right?
Exactly. I mean, that's why I'm there. I'm a custodian of the game, and I love the game, and I love what it's done for me, because it has actually gave me a life, because it was rugby league that brought me in when I was being bullied and not accepted when I was a migrant. So I've gone through all that, and that's why I love rugby league, because it was that sport that brought me in and made me accepted, and that's why I am in the position I'm in, because I'm repaying the debt. So my job as a custodian is to make the game viable, healthy, and for everybody. And that's the beauty about rugby league. We can all participate, because you can play touch, tag, contact, and it causes the tribalism. It causes us to argue, to blame the referee for the ozone layer. It does everything for us. That's what I love about the game.
Well, I was going to mention that. A nice distraction for you away from some of the controversial refereeing. Are you considering changing the rules around those captain's challenges, just to make sure that didn't fly under the radar, Peter V'landys?
Look, I think you've got to remember that the game is an 80-minute game. That happened in the last 5 or 10 seconds. That's the first thing. Look, there was a mistake made, and we've been very open about that. But at the end of the day, all referees are human, and we all make mistakes. But we always forget when they get it right. And out of the 100 times they make a decision, they probably get 95 of them right. I got 50 out of 100 when I was at school, so to get 95 out of 100 knowing at university, that's a high distinction. So they're not doing too bad. But in regards to the Captain's Challenge, it's a grey area we will look at, and we always review these things at the end of the year, and we'll do so again at the end of this year. But I feel for the Balmain fans, because they believe that they were robbed, but they've got to remember it's an 80-minute game, so there might have been decisions that went their way when the Cowboys were attacking their line that could have been questionable as well.
The referee's job's even harder than yours, I reckon. Peter V'landys, as always, you've been generous with your time. We thank you for it.
My pleasure.